My name is Charley, and this is my journal. I've had this journal for less than a year, and today I'm going to show you my journal tips for beginners. I've already gone through the whole thing and blocked out all the personal information with post-it notes, so let's get started. The first thing is to find a comfortable journal. This is really important since you're going to have it for a while. You don't want something too fancy because then you won't feel like what you're writing is good enough to put in it. And if you write in something that you don't love, then it's going to be harder to reach for it and want to actually journal. This is one that I got from Package Free Shop. It was around $10 and it has dots, so it's really great for doodling and other types of art in my journal. But find something that really works for you and what your uses are. If you want something really small, it's going to be harder to glue things in. If you get something really big, it's going to be harder to carry around. So find something that works for what you want it for. This is one that I'm still working on, but letting go of perfectionism. I have a really hard time with this because I want what I'm making to look gorgeous and beautiful and cute, but it doesn't always turn out that way. And as you'll see as I flip through this more, there are some days where I just don't feel like doodling or adding anything extra in. Just writing what I feel is the most important. Obviously, it's fun to express myself creatively, but just writing is the most important part, and it's really helpful for me to just let go of that. And being consistent is also important. I also have a really hard time with this. If I feel like my feelings aren't valid enough, I tend to not write them down. And I only write when I'm frustrated or when something really good has happened. And I think it's important to write consistently because it's like going to therapy. When you go to therapy once, it's helpful, yes, but it's more helpful when you go consistently. And this is a really important one for the creatives out there, is to use what you already have. You don't need to go and buy fun washi tape and stickers. You already have a lot of things that would be perfect for journaling. For example, flowers are totally free. Using things like notes from family and friends. This is a Yahtzee scorecard from when there were blackouts. So pressed flowers, tickets, wristbands, notes, cards, receipts, pretty much anything flat is going to be really great to include in your journal. I like to include things that just happen in my life, note cards that I get, tags from clothing. When I buy stamps, I like to stamp in there. Sometimes I include stickers, but for the most part, I just like to have things that mean something, like when I went to go see Frozen with Jackson, or when we go somewhere fun, I press flowers and then keep them to put in the journal to remember where we went. If you're really having a hard time figuring out where to start and what to write about, I love making lists. So you can make a list of things that you completed that day, things you're grateful for, things you want to do tomorrow. You can even do things that are more simple, like make a list of everything that you like. I've done that a couple times in this because it's just so relaxing. Some other tips for what to write in your journal is when things happen throughout the week, write them down. So if you go to therapy, you can suggest it or bring it up in your therapy sessions. Sometimes it's hard to remember what's happened in a week or 2 weeks, however long in between sessions you have. So it's really helpful to have those notes. Also, after every therapy session, I make notes of what my therapist has said because it's really easy after I've hung up the phone or I've left the office to forget everything that's just happened. So that's also a really great tip for those who are in therapy. And of course, for those who aren't in therapy, it's still really great to treat your journal as like a therapeutic practice. Find a time of day that works really well for you and try to stick to it. It doesn't have to be every day. I try to do once or twice a week, in the evenings if I need to decompress, or in the mornings when I just need to get a jump start of the day. I prefer to do it during those times of days, but everybody is so different and what works for them. But having a record of your life is so amazing. I have been journaling regularly since I was about 12. I did journal before then, but it was not as detailed until I turned 12. And it's so amazing as an adult to go back and look at all of these memories and all of the crushes and all of the friend troubles and puberty drama that happened in my life, and just looking back at my feelings from when I was a kid and to see how much I've grown since then is so cool. And now as an adult, when I journal, I like to think of myself as a parent, or when I'm a much older adult looking back at this really interesting time in the entire world, but also just this time in my life that's so monumental and something that I really want to remember. So when you're journaling, you don't have to think about what your future self is going to think of it, but it does really help me when I'm journaling to remember what sort of things I want to write about. Writing about my feelings, things that happen in my day, things that are happening in the world, because even though I know them right now, in the future it'll be really nice to remember. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for looking at my journal, and I'll see you in the next one.